In this video, I'm going to give you a tour of places that you can go to in New York City. Are you ready? Let's go! So right now, I'm on a Greyhound bus going into New York City. I'm starting to see the New York City skyline. We're heading into the Lincoln Tunnel. And here is a nice view of the One World Trade Center. Now I'm at the Greyhound Port Authority, which is located on 42nd Street. If you don't want to take the Greyhound bus, you can always take the Amtrak train, which is in the new Moynihan train station. You can also catch the Long Island Railroad trains from here too. It's basically an extension of the old Penn Station, and they built it with a glass ceiling. Near one of the entrances, they have artwork on the ceiling where it looks like skyscrapers are hanging upside down. Okay, across the street is the world famous Madison Square Garden. It's right above Penn Station, where you can catch trains to go into New Jersey. That's the sounds of New York City. Here is a better view of Madison Square Garden. And you can even see the Empire State Building right behind it. Madison Square Garden is an entertainment arena where you can watch sports games or concerts. There's other places that you can go to in the city to watch concerts. This is inside of Radio City Music Hall. I went here to go see Janet Jackson perform her #1 hits. I've also been to the Apollo Theater in Harlem to see performances and concerts as well. All right, so now I'm going to check out this New York Pizza Suprema. It has good reviews and the line is out the door. Whenever I'm in New York, I usually order a margarita pizza. Margarita pizzas usually have basil on top. Just so you know, this margarita pizza costs $5.50 for one slice. So let me see what this tastes like. To me, this has too much pecorino romano cheese, which is basically like Parmesan cheese. Other people like it like that, but that's just my opinion. So now I'm getting ready to go into the Edge New York skyscraper building. It opened up in 2020, so it's still considered new. It's supposed to have the highest outdoor observation deck in the Western Hemisphere. I suggest that you buy your tickets online. So this is behind the Edge building. It's the backyard at Hudson Yards. This new landmark is called the Vessel. It's basically a giant spiral staircase. Unfortunately, it's closed indefinitely. Right now, they'll only let you go on the bottom floor of the inside of the vessel. This will give you an idea of what it looks like to walk up all of the flights of stairs. Okay, if you look over to your right, there is a gray building called the Shed. It has a retractable roof, and that's where you can see live cultural art performances. Okay, so this is where I'm going to sit down and chillax until it's time for me to go up into the Edge. If you want to grab a hot dog outside, it's $4. All right, so now I'm getting ready to go into the Edge. The Edge is basically on top of a mall. They also have a city climb adventure where you get strapped to a harness on top of the building. Okay, so I just went in the doors and now I'm going to walk down the hallways. Ooh, I love this. I love all of the colors on the digital columns. I love all of these lights.
I see something new in it. That's what I love about this city. It's always something new.
This display looks like it will hypnotize you if you stare at it for too long. All right, so now I'm in the elevator to go up into the observation deck. Now this elevator display reminds me of the elevator display in the One World observation deck. It shows you sketches of the skyscraper buildings. It's basically a digital screen that's supposed to entertain you on your elevator ride up to the observation deck. So the indoor observation deck has this beautiful floral display. I think this display is supposed to last for the spring and summer months. Okay, just so you know, they do raise the admission ticket prices for the sunset hours. I suggest that you get here earlier to save money. That's a sightseeing savings tip for you. Okay, so this indoor observation deck, it definitely reminds me of the indoor observation deck at the One World Trade Center. Here is a postcard and some pictures that I took from when I was there. This is the area where the Twin Towers used to be. I remember when they were still building the new One World Trade Center. It was called Ground Zero after September 11th. From this observation deck, you can see the Brooklyn Bridge. I took this picture and I added some color filters to it. After I left that observation deck, I walked over to the Brooklyn Bridge. I only made it halfway across the bridge because then I realized that I had to walk all the way back. Well, at least I got the experience to know what it feels like to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. Also, the Staten Island ferry is about a 20-minute walk away from this area. And you can see views of the Statue of Liberty from the ferry. And I think the ferry is still free. All right, so I'm going to finish walking through this indoor observation deck. And as you can see, you get a great view of the Empire State Building. It looks like this observation deck is basically 360. So you just have to walk around and check things out at different angles. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to go through the revolving doors to go to the outdoor observation deck side. So this is what you can see on the observation deck outside. There is a building blocking the view of the Empire State Building. But like I said, you can see it better from the view indoors. Right in between these two buildings is Madison Square Garden. I was just there. Straight across from here is the One World Trade Observation Deck. This is the building that I saw on the bus ride over here. Up here you get a nice bird-eye view of the city. And over here on this side in this corner is New Jersey. All right, so this is basically a plexiglass floor. I'm gonna walk across this to get a view of the streets below. Don't look down if you have a fear of heights.
No. Everybody take a look up at the apex. There you go. That could be you up there.
The reason why the guy told us to look up is because people are starting to do the city climb adventure. There they go, hanging off the edge. On the other side of the deck is a staircase where you can sit down and look out at the views. So this spot is where you can see everything. I can see Central Park. I can see the new Summit Vanderbilt building. Then there's the Empire State Building. Across from there is Queens. Then you have downtown Manhattan and the One World Trade Center area. And if you look close, you can see the Statue of Liberty. This observation deck also has a bar kiosk area. And there's also a restaurant called Peak. All right, so now I'm headed back downstairs to go to the mall area to go to the Magnolia Bakery. I'm in New York, so I might as well get a piece of cheesecake. This cheesecake looks so delicious. It costs $8.25. All right, let me check this out. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to watch more sightseeing savings tips and tricks. So this is probably one of the best cheesecakes I've ever had. It's not as dense as traditional New York cheesecakes. It tastes light and creamy. And I can taste the vanilla inside of this cheesecake. Now I know where to go to get some cheesecake. Now I'm headed back out onto the streets. All right, so the next place I'm going to show you is 7th Avenue, aka Fashion Avenue. It's also known as the Garment District. This is one of the shops that designers can go to purchase their fabrics and supplies for their fashion designs. I had an internship in this area where I had to work backstage to help dress the models for the New York City fashion shows. I used to work 5 minutes away from here. That's how I know what goes on in this area. The next spot I want to check out is Liberty Bagels. They have different flavors of cream cheese. I got this rainbow swirl bagel with blueberry cream cheese. It almost looks too pretty to eat, but it costs $7. Plus, they actually sell water bottles for only $1.50. Look at this. You can see the real pieces of blueberries inside. This bagel tastes yummy. You have a choice to get this toasted if you wanted to. You can eat this for breakfast or for a snack. The last place I'm going to show you is Times Square. Here's one of the turnstile entrances to get into the subways. This area gets lit, especially at night when all the billboards are lit up. It's a New York City vibe. All right, so let's talk about tourist transportation. I usually like getting on the double-decker hop-on, hop-off buses because they drop you off at a lot of the tourist attractions. You can look online for websites that bundle and sell tourist attractions for one flat rate. This area is where the ball drops during New Year's Eve. Here's a word of advice. If anybody tries to hand you something or get you to take a picture, that usually means they're trying to get you to buy something from them. Just be aware of your surroundings. That's advice for any major tourist city. Here is Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. You can also catch a Broadway show in this area. There's lots of things to do and see in New York City. You can even go outside of Manhattan into another borough. There's stuff to do in the wintertime too. Like I went to the Bronx Zoo and they had ice sculptures. Hopefully this video will give you ideas on things to do in New York City. Thanks for watching.